Hello, this is Brian Rezny, president of Rezny Wealth Management, bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment markets. Well, I'm glad to see that overall the equity markets and the bond market have really started to stabilize. Of course, we're seeing some of the numbers on the coronavirus actually coming down a little bit, at least new death rates and things of that nature. It's interesting, there's been a few studies that have come out, not only one from New York, but also California, that basically, for the most part, show that the numbers they originally thought a month ago are substantially lower on the death rate. In fact, if you look at these numbers, they're looking at numbers that are probably 0.1% of people that actually contract the virus actually pass away. By the way, if you look at statistical numbers on that, about 99% of people that pass away have underlying health conditions between 1 and 3 as a minimum, and the higher up that food chain you go with health conditions, the more serious it becomes. So of course, if you've got health conditions, regardless of age, you should be protecting yourself anyway from even the common cold or the common flu. So ultimately, as we've talked many times, we always care about our clients' health. Do what you need to do, but generally speaking, this economy needs to get back in full vigor, and I firmly believe it will. As I've talked in previous updates, of course, the first quarter is going to have a little bit less on the GDP. Second quarter is not going to look pretty at all. I think we're going to ramp up quite well on the third and fourth quarter, and I think 2021 is going to be phenomenal. We're already starting to see supply chains and some of this stuff in the works on coming back to the U.S. Ultimately, stronger economy in the U.S. and within the continent of North America. We are invested in the right areas, we feel, to not only capture the return that we see throughout the rest of this year on values, but also we are positioned, and we will make fine-tuning adjustments, of course, as always when necessary, but we are gearing up for what we feel will be a continued rally through year-end and getting ready for 2021. I've talked repeatedly about the bond market. If you take a look at the 10-year Treasury or the 30-year Treasury, you're talking rates about 1.25% or less on these 30-year type bonds, or in that approximate range. This is horrific for investors who oversaturate their portfolio with bonds. And of course, we are not oversaturated at Rezny Wealth Management. Investors have to realize all investments have a degree of risk. And now with the bond market, with interest rates where they're at, there is very light value, and there's actually substantial risk going out on the maturity curve on bonds. So why would you want to buy a 30-year bond that pays a little bit more than a 5-year or a 10-year bond? It would make no sense. I've talked about this before. We continue to stay in floating rate type securities and or short-term duration bonds for those liquidity measures in our client portfolios. Income, it's going to come from dividend, interest, and gain. So total return is going to be key going forward. We are properly positioned within that across the spectrum in every client account. It's interesting to look at. Our clients have done quite well through this whole downturn. I look at what the market did. I look at what the bond market actually did. And generally speaking, most of our clients are really down very slight year to date, slight numbers. The clients that, of course, decided maybe to go to cash, we only had a few of those, by the way, made a huge mistake. And unfortunately, that mistake's going to cost them quite a bit of money. I'm glad to say the vast majority of our clients listen to our update videos, and or before they decided to make a mistake, talk to us on the phone so we can talk them out of doing something that really would be catastrophic. Remember, everything has risk. You're always going to get volatility. I firmly believe the U.S. economy is going to come back exceptionally strong by the end of the year and through 2021. It's going to be a new paradigm for the U.S. economy and North America, as I've talked before. Oil prices, I've had a couple clients ask about oil. I will tell you, that's almost the number one question I've been getting lately on my TV and radio show. Oil prices are going to stay low for a long time. Are they going to stay at $15 oil? No. As soon as the economy starts to show signs of growth and rebound in that third and fourth quarter, we will probably get back to $20 to $30 oil prices. Probably by the end of the year, we'll probably be at $30 to $40 oil prices. But statistically, we will probably run in the range between $40 and 60. At that range, companies can make money in oil, not mega profits, but the U.S. will still be the predominant force when it comes to global supply of oil, not only natural gas, but oil. Sure, there's going to be some companies that will go bankrupt on the oil shale side. That happens in every downturn in oil and every recession, but that will not be catastrophic to the U.S. economy. That will have implications, of course, on Russia's economy, on the rebound, and of course Saudi Arabia, other big oil producers. But while we don't want prices this low, we do see them coming back fairly quickly, not at the levels that we saw a few months ago, but certainly in the range where these producers, the majority, can make a profit. There's always going to be people that are going to go out of business, but the vast majority will be in business. I'm not overly concerned. We've got an election year, of course. I've had a lot of clients ask me, again, whether you're Democrat or Republican. Half my clients are Republican, half my clients are Democrat. You choose how you're going to vote. A lot have asked me, what do you think about our president? Will he get reelected? And they're concerned if he doesn't. I firmly believe he will get reelected. He'll grow the economy. And after that, what's going to happen? We'll wait to see after he's elected the second time, and we'll start making judgment and if we need to make adjustments after he's elected for the second term. So whether you like the president or not, policies do matter. And ultimately, I look at a lot of the things that are coming out of the Democrat Party, and there's no real substance at all. Our economy needs true leadership, and sometimes you got to make those tough decisions. That's just kind of the fact of life. So whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, vote wisely and make sure you do it well educated. Again, the economy, in our opinion, is going to do quite well as we get through the second quarter. And we're starting to see some of the things being lifted across the board in the U.S. This is going to help. Unemployment numbers don't look really good, of course, right now. Those are going to be short-lived. There will be some jobs that will be permanently lost, and I wouldn't be shocked by the end of this year that the vast majority of people are back to work, but instead of being about 3.5% unemployment like we were a month ago, maybe we're at 6 or 6.5% unemployment, and then those numbers will get whittled down even more as we get into 2021. People will go to different areas, but as we bring supply chains back to the U.S., over the next, let's say, 2, 3 to 5 years, that is going to help our workforce immensely. Higher wages, bigger opportunity. We're going to need more skilled people, and we're going to need probably actually a larger population overall, and that's where legal immigration and fixing our problem we have there comes into play, because we do need more legal immigrants in the U.S. as our economy grows into 2021 and beyond. So we're actually quite excited for what we see. Again, we feel we're well positioned. But as always, if you're a client of our firm, you have any concerns, any questions, give us a call. If we need to schedule an in-office, our offices are all fully staffed and open, by the way. If we need to do an in-office review, fine. If you want to do a phone review, that's excellent too. Either way works well for us. We want to make sure your questions are answered. We want to make sure you stay safe, healthy, and prosperous. Have yourself a safe and prosperous day.